Breaking. The hunting industry just launched its first dedicated digital marketing academy for outfitters and guides, and it is exposing a massive, a massive generational divide.
Yeah, it is. It's honestly a brutal collision of the oldest traditions on Earth, just, slamming headfirst into the newest technologies.
Welcome to the deep dive. And, that bulletin you just heard isn't a headline out of Wall Street or Silicon Valley. It's coming straight from the wilderness.
Which is wild to think about.
Exactly. So today, our mission is to analyze this massive stack of internal blueprints, marketing materials, and pitch decks from an organization called Hunt Network. And specifically, we're looking at their newly launched training arm, which is called HuntNetwork-Skool.
Right, and the stakes here are so high. We are looking at how the oldest, most experienced hunting guides in the world.
We're talking absolute legends of the bush here.
Yeah, guys who have tracked dangerous games for decades. And they are suddenly losing massive ground to, well, 20-somethings with smartphones.
It's crazy. We'll be looking at how a new global operating system for the industry is attempting to digitize the wild. Okay, let's unpack this. Because whether you care about hunting or not, this is a real-time case study of what happens when an ancient, completely offline industry is forced to modernize literally overnight.
It really is. And to grasp why an academy like HuntNetwork-Skool is making headline news in this specific space, we really have to look at the massive infrastructure shift that made it necessary in the first place.
Right, the shift away from the old way of doing things.
Exactly. The fundamental flaw in the old business model was the distribution of risk and the reliance on what we call brochure-style websites.
Oh, man. Yeah, we all know those.
Right. For decades, hunting outfitters just relied on these static, unchanging web pages. You know the type. A site built in like 2008 with a few pixelated photos of a deer or a buffalo.
A giant block of unreadable text.
Yeah, and a tiny button that just says contact for pricing. I mean, that website does absolutely nothing to actively capture a client.
It's just a digital business card gathering dust. And from looking at the sources, it seems like that static website was usually paired with what they called the traditional expo season.
Oh, the expo season. Yeah, that is the perfect example of the outfitter taking on literally all the financial risk.
How so?
Well, historically, an outfitter leaves their lodge in South Africa or New Zealand or Alaska, right? They fly 20 hours to a convention center in Dallas or Vegas.
Which isn't cheap.
No, they spend thousands of dollars on flights, hotels, and physical booth space. Then they basically stand on a concrete floor for 4 days handing out paper flyers.
Hoping to lock in enough bookings to feed their family for the next 12 months.
Exactly. And think about the risk. If a massive snowstorm hits Dallas that weekend and attendance drops, their entire year of revenue is potentially ruined.
Wow.
Yeah, the outfitter absorbs every single ounce of that marketing risk.
It's an incredibly localized, seasonal, and frankly, just exhausting way to do business. I mean, you cross your fingers in January at the trade show and just pray your calendar is full by February.
Right, it's essentially gambling.
But the internal blueprints show Hunt Network is pushing a massive transition away from that gamble. They want to move the industry away from those stagnant brochures and seasonal shows and turn the entire ecosystem into a 247 automated booking machine.
Yeah, they define this movement as a unified global hunting operating system. And it's vital to understand that this isn't simply a directory.
Like the old Yellow Pages style listings.
Right, where a guide's name gets dropped into an alphabetical list and forgotten. It is being explicitly positioned as the booking.com or the Airbnb of the hunting industry.
Which means 365-day global visibility.
Exactly. And the strategic value of this infrastructure is immense, particularly when you look at an outfitter's most precious resource, which is their time. Busy outfitters really need to reclaim their time through booking automation.
Because they're out in the field. I mean, they are tracking animals, managing camp staff, repairing vehicles in the mud.
They aren't sitting at a desk hitting refresh on their email inbox every 10 minutes. And the sources show how much friction that creates in the old model. A hunter submits an inquiry on a Tuesday. The outfitter is, out of cell range in the mountains and doesn't reply until Thursday.
And by then, the hunter has moved on and booked with someone else.
Exactly. So Hunt Network's operating system implements real-time Google Calendar syncs. Hunters can see live, up-to-the-minute availability.
Oh, that's huge.
It is. It handles automated deposit collection and integrates directly with WhatsApp. It entirely cuts out those endless delayed back-and-forth email chains that just kill deals.
So it sounds like the old way was building a beautiful billboard in the middle of a desert and hoping a hunter just happens to drive by.
That's a great way to put it.
But the new way isn't just setting up a storefront inside a busy mall either. It's more like hiring a personal shopper who stops a guy looking specifically for a Rolex and walks him directly to your specific watch counter.
Completely bypassing the food court and the shoe stores.
Yeah. But let me push back on that for a second. If everyone is on this same global platform, doesn't this just pit everyone against each other in a massive race to the bottom on price?
You'd think so, but no. The architecture of the platform is built entirely around that concept of intent.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Well, a common fear for these outfitters is exactly what you just said. But the system is highly tailored to specific niches and hunter intent. A Texas alligator guide is never competing for screen space with a South African buffalo outfitter.
Right, because the buyer is searching for totally different things.
Exactly. A hunter searching for a budget-friendly first-time plains game hunt is not being shown a $30,000 luxury dangerous game safari.
So it matches them up.
Yeah, the operating system actively filters budget, exact location, target species, and hunt type directly to the buyer's search parameters. It's an intent-driven matching engine.
Getting in front of the exact person looking for your specific expertise is incredibly powerful, but that immediately raises a massive psychological barrier, I think. We're talking about an industry dealing with international travel, high-powered firearms, unpredictable wildlife, and massive five-figure price tags. Getting a hunter to look at your profile is one thing.
But getting them to actually book.
Right. Getting them to trust you enough to wire you thousands of dollars is another. Why would someone click book on a $15,000 trip halfway across the world just because a search engine matched them up?
That's the million-dollar question. And the answer is that trust is the actual currency of this entire ecosystem. Without it, the visibility means absolutely nothing.
Right.
That is why the platform utilizes a verified trust network. Hunt Network issues a verified badge to approved outfitters, but it's the mechanism behind that badge that actually solves the psychological barrier.
How does that vetting process actually work, though? I mean, how does a digital badge prevent someone from being scammed?
Well, the platform actively checks the outfitter's local outfitting licenses and permits to ensure they are legally operating.
Oh, so they do the homework.
Yeah, they cross-reference past client reviews and verify their operational history. But crucially, the platform acts as a secure intermediary for the financial transaction.
Which is a huge relief for the buyer.
Massive. Think about the old model. A hunter sitting in Ohio was asked to wire a $10,000 deposit directly to a foreign bank account they've never even heard of.
Yeah, that sounds sketchy.
The fear of fly-by-night scams is rampant. So when a hunter sees that verified badge, they know the platform has vetted the operator and secured the deposit process.
It takes the risk out of it.
Exactly. That professional verified profile removes buyer hesitation immediately. Serious hunters prioritize these verified platforms when booking their dream adventures because it removes the gambling aspect of big money hunts.
The sources also highlight that the platform provides visual assets to act as professional sales tools.
Yeah, the sliding photo galleries.
Right, and there are deep YouTube video integrations built right into the outfitter's profile.
The visual proof is really the final layer of that trust mechanism. And the YouTube integration is a fascinating psychological tool.
How so?
Well, video allows the hunter to see the hunts in action, sure, but more importantly, it allows them to hear the guide's voice.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they see the guide's mannerisms, how they treat their staff, how they react when things go wrong in the field. It builds a parasocial connection before the first message is even sent.
So they feel like they already know them.
Exactly. The hunter begins to feel like they are friends. It transforms a total stranger into a treasured professional companion.
Okay, wait, I need to stop you right there. Here's where it gets really interesting. You're telling me that a slick YouTube integration and a digital verified badge can instantly replace a 30-year hard-earned reputation in the bush.
Whoa.
Because some of these veteran guides have been tracking lions since before the internet was even a concept. They know the wind, they know the animals, they know the land.
Right. I get what you're saying. And no, a digital badge does not replace the physical skill of a 30-year reputation, obviously.
Okay.
But a 30-year reputation is entirely useless to a business if the modern hunter cannot see it, verify it, and engage with it online.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Your legendary tracking skills simply don't matter if your calendar is empty. And that brings us directly to the crisis point shaking the industry right now and the breaking news you mentioned at the top.
The launch of HuntNetwork-Skool.
Exactly.
Yeah, the internal blueprints we reviewed are remarkably blunt about this crisis. The old school guys have the 30-year reputations, but they are losing market share rapidly.
It's happening fast.
Outfitters with 20 to 40 years of unbelievable life or death experience in the wild are being completely bypassed by newbie, younger generation guides.
And let's be clear, the younger operators absolutely do not have the decades of tracking experience.
Right.
But they know how to post a reel. They understand daily digital presence. They know how to stay top of mind.
They know how to play the game today.
Exactly. In the modern digital era, the consumer books who they see and trust today, not the guy who was famous at an expo back in 1995, but is completely invisible on a smartphone.
Wow.
So HuntNetwork-Skool was built specifically to solve this massive generational gap. It is a 90-day digital marketing sprint designed exclusively for the hunting and safari industry.
And the urgency in these internal documents is intense. I mean, they are pushing a June 1st start date for enrollment.
Very tight timeline.
Yeah, the messaging to the outfitters is basically half the year is already gone.
Yeah.
You need to build your authority right now before the next expo season, or you are going to be left behind again.
And that resonates with them.
I'm sure it does, but I'm putting myself in the shoes of an older, grizzled guide. I'd feel absolutely ridiculous trying to become a social media influencer.
Well, the genius of the school curriculum is that it actively discourages them from becoming glossy, generic influencers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They are trying to shock the system by telling these legacy operators that paying a traditional marketing agency a monthly retainer to post generic, highly edited promotional photos, it just doesn't cut it anymore.
Because it looks fake.
Exactly. The modern consumer sees right through it.
And the examples in the curriculum actually prove that point.
Yeah.
They aren't asking for high production value at all.
Not even a little bit.
They are telling these guides to capture simple, daily, gritty moments. Like, take a 7-second video of a scorpion crossing a dirt road, film yourself prepping the camp for the evening, show a weird bug on a tree in the Canadian forest.
Yeah, it's the mechanism of authenticity. Think about the psychology of the buyer here.
Okay.
A hunter sitting in a corporate office in Chicago, staring at a spreadsheet all day, doesn't want highly produced fake marketing.
They want an escape.
Right. They want to feel the reality of the bush. They want to see the taxidermy process, the travel, the flat tires, the dust, the ups and downs of life in the field.
So it's about the lifestyle.
Exactly. School teaches them what to post, and how to turn daily hunting life into a digital presence that actually drives inquiries.
So they are essentially teaching them to turn their everyday, gritty reality, which probably feels totally mundane and boring, to a seasoned guide and to an exotic reality TV show for a hunter sitting in a cubicle thousands of miles away.
That is exactly the dynamic. I mean, the mundane to the guide is deeply exotic to the buyer.
That makes total sense.
And the platform is very pragmatic about who should actually be executing this daily work.
Because the guide is busy guiding.
Exactly. The sources highlight that HuntNetwork-Skool is heavily positioned as a family legacy builder.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. If the veteran outfitter simply refuses to use a smartphone or truly just doesn't have the time because they are guiding from dawn until dusk, the curriculum is aimed at the surrounding team.
So it's a team effort.
It targets the lodge receptionists, the administrative teams, the wives, and crucially, the older children who will eventually inherit and take over the business.
So it's about securing the future of the family brand so it doesn't die when the founder finally retires.
Exactly.
And there's a massive financial incentive tied to this sprint, too. According to the pitch decks, if an outfitter joins the school, Hunt Network actually waives the $900 setup fee for their premium verified profile on the marketplace.
Which is a brilliant ecosystem play.
Yeah, they build the digital storefront for free if the outfitter commits to learning how to drive traffic to it.
Because Hunt Network wants educated, active users on their platform. They don't just want passive profiles collecting dust.
Right.
School teaches the outfitter how to create the content and build that parasocial trust we talked about. But the Hunt Network profile gives that content a secure place to live where it can actually be monetized. It closes the loop entirely.
Okay, creating this content is great, but a 7-second video of a scorpion doesn't actually process a $15,000 credit card payment. So where does this content actually live so it turns into real money? And how does this platform actually survive without just bleeding these outfitters dry with endless monthly listing fees?
Well, the content lives on the geographic discovery tool, which is a core piece of this whole infrastructure, the global hunting map.
The map.
Yeah, imagine an interactive digital globe where a hunter can visually zoom in on any continent, any country, any mountain range, and find pinned, verified outfitters.
Oh, that's cool.
It turns the entire process of discovery into a highly interactive, geography-based experience. You aren't just scrolling a boring list, you are exploring the world map.
I can see how that alone changes the psychology of the buyer. You feel like you're exploring, planning a real expedition rather than just shopping from a catalog.
Exactly.
But the business model behind this map is what really caught my eye. The internal documents reveal a massive strategic shift. They're moving away from flat monthly subscription fees and adopting a 10 to 18% commission structure, depending on the size of the package.
Yeah, and we have to look at the psychology of platform economics here. Hunt Network is positioning this not as a fee, but as a performance-based partnership infrastructure.
What does that actually mean, though?
What that means is the platform's incentives are perfectly aligned with the outfitter's incentives. Hunt Network only gets paid when the outfitter gets paid.
Okay, I follow.
Therefore, the platform is highly motivated to drive traffic, to improve search engine optimization, to run global email blasts to their 250,000 subscribers, and to actually secure those bookings.
Okay, but if you are listening to this and running your own business in any industry, giving up 18% of a massive sale probably sounds terrifying.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's really look at the math here. 18% of a $30,000 safari is over $5,000. Is giving up that huge chunk of change really a better deal for these outfitters than just paying a traditional marketing agency a flat, predictable monthly retainer?
It absolutely is, and it comes back to that concept of risk distribution we talked about with the expo season earlier.
Okay, break it down.
Let's look at the old model. An outfitter pays a marketing agency a flat $2,000 a month retainer for SEO and social media. That is $24,000 a year, guaranteed right out of the outfitter's pocket.
Even if that agency brings them 0 actual clients.
Exactly. The outfitter holds all the risks.
Right. Just like paying 15 grand for a booth at a trade show where nobody shows up.
Bingo. But in a performance-based marketplace taking a commission, the platform holds the marketing risk. Yes, 15% of a $10,000 hunt is $1,500.
Which is a lot of money.
It is, but the outfitter only pays that money if the money has already been successfully made.
Oh, I see.
Furthermore, this taps into what we call the network effect. When you pay a standalone retainer for your own website, you are paying to build an isolated road in the middle of nowhere and just hoping people drive down it.
Right.
When you operate within a marketplace commission structure, you are paying rent to be inside a massive mall where a flowing river of high-intent traffic is already walking past your door every single day.
So you aren't paying for maintenance. You are paying for immediate access to an existing ecosystem of buyers.
Exactly. And importantly, the sources explicitly state that once the deposit is paid and the booking is secured through the platform, the financial transaction and the liability pass directly to the outfitter and the hunter.
So Hunt Network steps out of the way.
Right. Hunt Network isn't operating the hunt. They aren't dictating how the outfitter runs their camp. They are simply providing the global discovery, the trust verification, and the booking infrastructure.
They secure the booking, protect the initial commitment, and reduce the friction.
The rest of the balance and the actual execution of the trip is handled directly by the outfitter. It's a true marketplace model.
Wow. When we step back and look at the whole picture, the global operating system, the verification network, the shift in financial risk through performance-based commissions, and this urgent 90-day digital marketing academy pushing the old guard to adapt, what does this actually mean for the future of this space?
Honestly, it means we are watching an ancient, fiercely independent industry transition into the modern digital economy in real time.
It's historic.
It is. The core takeaway from all these blueprints and pitch decks is incredibly clear. Going forward, the outfitters who will win the future and dominate the industry are not necessarily going to be the best hunters in the traditional sense.
Man, that is a tough pill to swallow for someone with 30 years of blood, sweat, and tears in the bush.
It is a harsh reality, but it's the reality of the market. The winners will be the ones who are visible. The winners will be the ones who are trusted through verification. And the winners will be the ones who are frictionless and easy to book.
Yeah.
Your reputation, no matter how legendary it is in your local circles, only matters if the global market can actually see it, verify it, and book it 365 days a year without waiting 3 days for an email reply.
It is the absolute end of hoping and praying at an annual trade show and the beginning of the automated booking machine. It's a wild structural shift to witness.
Truly wild.
And it leaves you with something to really think about. If an industry as rugged, completely offline, and tradition steeped as big game hunting can be completely disrupted by a digital operating system and 7-second smartphone videos of scorpions on a dirt road, well, look around your own industry.
Right.
Are you relying on the 30-year physical reputation and word of mouth? Or are you actively building your daily digital presence and removing friction for your buyers? Because somewhere out there, a 20-something with a smartphone might just be coming for your market share.